Welcome to our AWS tutorial. So in this tutorial you are going to learn how can you write an event driven Lambda function to read CSV file from S3 bucket. AWS Lambda is a serverless computing solution offered by Amazon Web Services. It enables you to write code without setting up or handling servers, helping you to focus only on application logic rather than infrastructure management. So in this demo you are going to interact your Lambda function with S3 bucket. AWS Lambda function and AWS S3 bucket, two different entities, so they are not directly linked with each other. If your Lambda function needs to read any file from S3 bucket, that means your Lambda function needs a role and permission on S3 bucket to enable your trigger on S3 event. Third one, write your function in Python language. Fourth one, upload your file in S3 and fire your trigger on S3, then call your Lambda function. Lastly, how you are going to manage this thing. Okay, how can you check your logs with the help of event logs? Let's move to our AWS environment. First of all, we are going to create a S3 bucket over here like this. So you are going to create a bucket to put your file, your CSV file. So create a bucket and you can put S3 raw data files. Advanced setting. So first of all we are going to create a bucket over here. Okay. Now after creating this bucket, we have to create a role to read your S3 bucket by the Lambda function. So here you can go identity and access management, and here in this section access management you have to go in roles and create roles. So we are using AWS services. Then use case, choose Lambda and click on next button, and then you are going to choose Lambda, execute. Yeah, so you have to click this, and you can see S3 get object, S3 put objects, and click on next. Now you have to give a name for this role. So here we are going to Lambda S3 full access role. Okay, and click on create role. Here you can see the role. You have to go into the another section, that is your Lambda. You can find out in the search bar Lambda, and here we are going to create this new Lambda function. Click on click. So here you can see the options like create function. So we are choosing author from scratch, and the function name fun read S3 CSV files. Okay, this is the name of our function. And the runtime, here we are going to choose Python 3.12, and architecture by default we are choosing x86 underscore 64. Then the change execution role. So we have created a new role for this, so we are going to use an existing role. Here you can see your role, that is lambda s3 full access. Okay, click on create function. Now you can see here your function is ready, and the name of the function you can also see here: fun read CSV, fun read s3 CSV files. First of all, in the test section you have to choose. So we are going to create a new event, and event name is fun read test. So here template options. So in this template option we have to choose s3 put, and then you can see the just record is the main root, and here you can see the event version, source event, region, event time, event name, user identity. But the important things we have, that is s3 bucket and bucket name, s3 object and key. Okay, save this. Now our test is ready. Now we are going to add trigger. So here, so our trigger is s3. So choose s3, and then choose your bucket name, that is demo raw data files, and here you can see the put. So we are going put and multiple, and then the if you are going to create any specific subfolder in your bucket like this. So here, if I am going to create a new folder, that is raw data files, so I am going to copy this. That means we are going to put all file in under this subdirectory. The same thing is here. I am going to put like this, and the format should be .csv. So suffix, that is prefix, and that is suffix. End of the file should be .csv. Acknowledge that we are not using same s3 bucket for input and output. Click on add. Now you can see your trigger has been added. Your trigger was successfully added to this function, and if you want to see this trigger, you can go to the s3, and in the property section in your bucket, in the property section you can also create your event, your trigger for your lambda function. Here you can see like this, and you can see your function name. Now in your function you can see you have created your role and permission to read your CSV file from s3, then add trigger and the layers. So in this case we are not using any external Python package. And here in the code section, yeah, so you can see the import JSON. So we are interacting with the s3 bucket. So here we are going to import boto 3 oblique OS, and then we have to interact with CSV. So here we are going to import CSV as well. So first of all we are going to print some message like print welcome to your lambda function to read CSV files from s3 bucket. Then we are going to deploy this. Okay, now in the demo section, here So how it is going to be work? And here you can see your logs, and here most likely unable to the what is no module OS. That means there are some mistakes, so we are going to our code, and in the code section that should be OS, and we are going to deploy this, even though we don't need OS for this demo as well. So we are going to remove it and deploy it, and we are going to upload this file again. And go to the our CloudWatch. Here we are going to refresh this. Here you can see, and you can see welcome to your Lambda function. Yeah, now how we are going to read our file and the content of the file with the help of Lambda file. That means our event is working well, but we have to modify our code as well. For this I have already written some code. I am going to paste my code over here. So here you can see from the JSON format, event, we are using event parameter, and in the event there is a record section in S3. Then S3 have a bucket and then name. The file name we are getting from the record S3 object and key. Then we are printing our bucket name. Then we are printing our uploaded file name. Then we are using S3, and we are getting boto3 and passing S3 as a parameter. Then we are getting new variable S3 client. In this next row you can see we are fetching the object by passing the bucket name and file name and the data. Then we are reading our object to read, and then we are going to decode and split lines. Here we are creating S3 reader, and we are calling S3 package to read data, and then here we are reading our data row by row. Let's deploy this code. Okay, now our code is ready. Now we are going to upload this file again. Add files, and here click on upload. Now go to the CloudWatch, and we are going to refresh our logs. Here now our log is ready. Here you can see the first message we are getting from, like, welcome to your Lambda function to read CSV file from S3 bucket. Then this is the bucket name, and then the file path of the file. Then the data we are getting from, that is the header. Then the row wise we are reading the data over here. So you can see it is very easy to write your second Lambda function to read any file from S3 bucket. Obviously you need a permission on your S3 bucket. Then you are going to trigger your S3 bucket. Then you are going to write your code in any language like Node.js, Java, Ruby, but I am comfortable with Python, so I have chosen Python. Then you are going to just follow the same instruction which we have shown you in this video. Please like, share and comment, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel.